If Isshin Kurosaki revealed his Shinigami heritage to his progeny earlier, and as a result actively trained Ichigo, Karin, and Yuzu to harness their spiritual powers earlier as well. This change would not only accelerate their development vastly beyond what they experienced in canon, but would also create a powerhouse Kurosaki family, capable of facing threats much tougher than them a lot sooner individually, and especially when gathered together. The catalyst for a change like this would most likely be the death of Masaki, since if Ichigo, even at the age of 9, had a small grasp of some of its potential, he could have gotten away with his mother, or possibly fought a driven Grand Fisher off long enough in order for Isshin or some other form of help to arrive, saving his mother's life in the process. This would by proxy transfer a lot of Ichigo's guilt and mental burdens onto Isshin, as he would likely comfort Ichigo with the knowledge that the tragedy was a failing on his part, and not Ichigo's, revealing the consequences of Yhwach's ashvallen, and thus, his children's nature is part quincy as well. Because of this, a lot of his motivation would be atonement, a battle with a growing over-protectedness, and overall responsibility, whereas inclination is usually to go with the flow and be more relaxed. If you're familiar with my What If Jiraiya Adopted Naruto series, a lot of these themes should sound familiar to you, hence why it is rather tempting to try another version of this story where Masaki does survive. However, I recognize how idealized it could become, as it would almost by necessity start to see the scenario intersect with a few other what if scenarios in the Bleach franchise, just kinda as a direct consequence. For example, the Kurosakis and Ishidas probably become a lot closer a lot faster, if not just fully integrating to view one another as family, with Uryu, Ryuken, Karin, and Soken being able to join in on and benefit from this earlier training and how to utilize reishi and other spiritual powers. As it would make the most sense to start off simple, Ichigo would first learn basic swordsmanship and combat techniques early, giving him a massive head start, as this is the same basic training that soul reapers who grow up in the Soul Society would undergo. If we're in the idealized Masaki alive timeline, this would also likely be a point in which the Ishidas could influence Ichigo's training, since while they are laying low from the Soul Society, quincy techniques could help Ichigo begin using and controlling his reishi, while not utilizing an actual zanpakuto. However, that really depends on how you specifically play things out in either route of taking the scenario. Even if Uryu and the Ishidas are only vaguely aware of Isshin and his machinations of earlier training his family, I think it would cause them to prepare Uryu more intensely as well no matter what. While in the Kurosaki household, when they two come of age to begin their training, Karin would apply her natural spiritual sensitivity and sharp wits to make her a quick learner, specializing in precision attacks and energy-based techniques like Hado and Keto, and if influenced by her mother the Ishidas, this inclination may push her into the route of becoming a quincy, while Yuzu, though initially weaker, focuses on defensive and supportive abilities that could push her to awaken as a fullbringer, not unlike Orihime, developing a unique niche in the family dynamic. As for what would happen when the series starts proper, for now I think things could remain fairly similar, with Isshin being away while instead of a single hollow as Ryuken would have been expected, they are instead overwhelmed and shocked as a Minos Grande suddenly manifests and requires the combined forces of the Shinigami, Ichigo, and his sisters to survive against, culminating in Ryuken letting Ichigo borrow her powers to slay the giant hollow, and begin our story in this alternate universe of